Hello, everyone. Before concluding, my name is Pieter Kempeneers from the Joint Research Center of the European Commission, and before concluding this conference, I would like to proceed with some awards. First of all, there's the award for the hackathon that took place on Monday this week, just before the presentation started of this conference. Rudy Schuder from Earth Daily will announce the winners, and I welcome you to announce it.
Great, thanks, Peter. So as here mentioned, I'm Rudy from Earth Daily, a remote sensing company in Canada. And myself, along with my colleagues from Vancouver and Toulouse, France, hosted a hackathon to sort of celebrate the launch of our Earth Data Store, which is a unified stack API where people can access both the data from our satellites, but also Sentinel-2, Venus, and various other sensors. We really had a great time on Monday hosting the event. Pretty good turnout, lots of enthusiastic participants, and we really enjoyed working with everyone on Monday, teaching them about the EDS and seeing what people could come up with. So on that note, we wanted just to recognize some of the efforts of the teams who participated. In fact, we thought there were 3 teams that did a really nice job and wanted to just make a small award for them. So the first of these awards we've entitled the Best Concept Award. This award goes to Team Coder Triad, which consisted of 3 people, namely Stefan Brandt, Jayanth Sedem-Sethi, and Maximilian Wolf, for their project, which was a great idea regarding interactive crop classification using LSTM networks. So thank you so much for your participation. The second award we've entitled Best Visualization, and this award goes to Team Lobi.ai, which consisted of Osario Rodriguez and Alexander Lechner for their project where they demonstrated a pretty neat web app for visualizing water segmentation. So thank you so much, Lobi.ai. And then finally, the third award, which was entitled the Best Use of Existing Data for Agricultural Purposes, was given to the team, a single-person team called Metria Data Scientist, which was Johanna Skarpman Sundholm from Sweden. And her project involved a novel filtering of time series data for crop classification. So thank you so much, Johanna, for that great project. And so unfortunately, not all the winners are actually here today, and so the giving of the awards, which consist of a cash prize, will actually have to occur virtually, so sorry for the maybe not as exciting delivery, but you will be contacted via the email which you signed up to the hackathon with. And so once again, thank you so much for your participation and showing us what the Earth Data Store can do. Thank you.
Thank you, Rudy. Next is the Best Poster Award. There were just over 100 submissions, so thank you for joining with that. I'll first announce the 3 ties for the second best poster. There's no prize there, I'm sorry. So, on the tie was, first of all, a scalable deep learning pipeline for mapping forest disturbances. This was from colleagues from the JRC, Loïc Dutrieux, Keith Ragno was presenting it actually here, then Nelly Gaillard and Peter Beck. That was the first. The second of the second place is the augmented remote sensing with smart hybridization from exogenous data sources. This was by Louis Ulmer, Bastien Mespoulos, and Pierre-Marie Brunet. And then finally, the integration of multiple global burned area products to improve fire monitoring and management. This was from Consuelo González Martin, Jaime González Delgado, Ángel García Pedrero, Mereime Budami, and Mario Lilo Saavedra. Oh, well, applause for those runners-up. And then for the best poster, I would like to thanks first and for all the BMK. So the I'll try it again to announce what, but it's the Bundesministerium Klimaschutz, Umwelt, Energie, Mobilität, Innovation und Technologie. And I would like to welcome Sophie Hoffmann. And I would like to, I hope someone is here from the authors, the Best Poster Award for BiDS'23 goes to an advanced framework for semantic querying of the dynamic world dataset. And this was by Martin Zuidmans, Lisa Ligono, Hanna Augustin, Lucas van der Meer, and Dirk Tiede. So you're going to come. Yeah. They're coming up. So this concludes the award part. I would then like to give the floor to the closing, the people that will close, Pierre and who else? I don't know the program by heart, but who's going to? Pierre is here.
So, good morning, everybody. This conference is coming to an end. My name is Sergio Albani. I'm from the European Union Satellite Center. I'm one of the 3 chairs of this conference, together with Pierre Sway from JRC and Stefan Nutzmis from ESA. It's been a long conference, 3 days and a half. I really enjoyed to see so many participants here, and I really enjoyed the possibility to discuss with you and to follow a huge number of very interesting presentations and satellite events. So let me just provide you with a bit of history of the Big Data from Space conference. This conference, the first edition, was in 2014. It was held in Frascati. And then we had another 5 editions, one in Tenerife, there was in Toulouse, in Munich. The 2021 edition was due to the COVID, it was supposed to be hosted in Romania and Bucharest, but it was at the end online. And so this is the 6th edition here in Vienna. The conference evolved in all these years, as you can imagine. So at the beginning of the story, so in 2014, we were more focusing on the so-called, maybe you remember the so-called 3V of the big data, volume, variety, and velocity. So we were a bit focusing more on the technological aspect, on the archiving and on the processing of the data. While we moved during this year, for instance, because of the advent of the artificial intelligence tools, we decided to move a bit from turning data into insights in the 2019 edition, and then from insights to foresight. So we basically added the predictive, let's say, capabilities that we can somehow extract from the data from space, up to this edition in which the theme was moving from foresight to impact, so the real impact that we can generate using big data from space. Some numbers of bits. As you can see here, the number of registered participants increased along all these years, apart, of course, for the 2021 edition that was the online one. So this is, with 710 registered participants, the most, let's say, successful edition ever. Actually, we had to close the registration because we were exceeding the capacity foreseen at the beginning of the organization. And also, you can see, as a number of papers, we were able to maintain the number of papers presented and accepted within this conference while maintaining the quality of this conference. So this edition in number, we have 710 registrations, actually something more. This is the official number, but there will be a number of registrations here on site from 54 countries. We received 126 papers. All these papers, you know, this is a peer review conference, so these papers have been reviewed by, in average, 3 members of the program committee. 101 papers were accepted, 44 as oral presentation, and 57 as poster. We had 4 keynote lectures and 18 satellite events, amongst them 15 tutorials, 2 challenges, 1 hackathon, and some new, let's say, tools to communicate in this edition, with the birds of a feather, with the lightning talks, and with a 3 days long code sprint. Some key messages that I want to deliver also on behalf of the other chairs of the conference. It's that the first one is that BiDS is a unique conference. Why it's unique? Because it's not a programmatic conference. It's not a pure scientific one. It's not a pure technical one, let's say. It's a bit a mix of all these different aspects. We are at the same time focusing on applications, but also on technology. And we can summarize this as saying that basically this is a conference that belongs to the community. So this is a conference, a bottom-up conference, a conference driven by your inputs, your feedback, and your comments. We were able to gather here, again, users, technology developers, scientists, and we decided to do it in a unique plenary session. So the idea is not to disperse, you know, our strength within different parallel sessions, but to be all of us here. That's enabling to build, let's say, common awareness of what's happening in the big data from space world. This edition in particular was quite innovative. Not only in technologies and on the content of the conference itself, but because we decided to introduce some new ways for the participants to interact. So we had these birds of feather, the lightning talks. So there was quite innovative within this point of view, and this allowed us to attract, as I have seen in these days, new generations of scientists and engineers. I have seen a lot of young people. That's nice, because it means that this conference is actually evolving in the right way. I'm not going to talk about the content, what I say, the technological issues that we were able to discuss these days, because it's quite complex, you know, to summarize all the different sessions and all the different presentations. I just put here some keywords. Artificial intelligence was quite represented with the 2 sessions, and then I heard a lot of discussion on open data infrastructure, of course applied to space-based big data. But this technological aspect is the core of the conference, but the core of the conference was also to the generation of impact. So we moved from the pure technological world to the generation of impact, and generating impact is crucial to achieve the goal of preserving and building a more sustainable world for the future. And here, this is actually on all of us, because how can I say, you don't have to underestimate the capacity that your job can have to generate a real impact in the world. So if you want to have a more a more whatever you want, a more secure, a more sustainable, a more inclusive world, your job, the job that you are doing right now using big data from space is the right direction. And this is why ESA, JRC, and SATS, and all of us, we want to continue to organize this conference. We are already looking at the 2025 edition. And of course, we will be very, very pleased if you will continue to stay with us and provide us with your participation, with your feedback, and with your support, of course. So this is all from my side. Before to give the floor to my colleagues from Austria, from ESA, and from JRC. I just want to thank you on behalf of SATS and all of us, so all the participants of the conference, all the speakers, all the organizers of the different events that we had in these 3 days and a half. In particular, I want to thank Sophie Hoffmann from Austria for the support in hosting this edition here in Vienna. I want to thank ESA, Stephanie. He did a fantastic work together with the other ESA colleagues from the organizing committee, just to mention some of them, Svano Loken, Patrick Griffith, Bertrand Lesseau, and also the guys from the organization, so Federico Rondoni and Riccardo Sonnino. I want to thank JRC, Pierre Suai, again, another successful edition together with also Pieter, that just presented our session, and Chiara Chiarelli. And of course, I want to thank also my colleagues from SATS and Paola Samegno and Omar Barillero that worked with me in organizing this conference. So thank you very much to you all. It has been a real pleasure to stay with you all these days, and I do hope to see you again in BiDS 2025. Thank you very much.
Hello, everyone. First of all, thank you to everyone who's still here and listening to this closing session. I would like to thank all of you in the name of me and my colleague, Melanie, who unfortunately couldn't make it to the conference due to an injury. And I know this is not an Oscar acceptance speech, but I, just like Sergio, I also would like to thank a few people, in particularly the team of the Austrian Agency for Space. If you would like to stand up, Luc, Constanze, I also see Andreas and Thomas here, for everyone who doesn't know them. And I would like to thank the whole organizing committee for really taking us on this journey as a local host and really welcoming us with open arms, and especially to Isa, Stephanie and her colleagues, to Pierre and to Sergio. And it was really a fantastic ride. I would also like to thank my colleagues from our event department in the ministry who provided us with the delicious catering from Motto. And of course, Angelika, Daniela, and the whole team here from the venue, from the Austria Center, who also did a fantastic job in supporting us and providing this amazing location, as I must say. I would also like to thank all the sponsors of the conference and the city of Vienna for hosting yesterday's really festive evening event. And then also thank you to all of you, all the participants, presenters, because in the end, we're not doing this conference for ourselves, we're doing it for all of you. And thank you also for the positive feedback that we've received so far. Then a special thanks also to Riccardo for making sure that this was a green event, which of course as the climate ministry was also very important to us, not only to the three organizers. And I also want to thank the ESA Graphics Bureau, who did really an amazing job of designing these images that you could see floating around in the big hall during the whole conference. So just a few words. Austria is one of the most ambitious countries. We want to be climate neutral by 2040. And frankly, I think time is running and we need a lot of help for this. And we also need the help of the space community, of course, as you're all aware. And we are proud that the downstream space sector has been contributing and has contributed already a lot to these objectives. But of course, we would like you all to continue and do even more in the next years. And yeah, what else did I want to say? I think that's it from my side. Thank you all again, and we hope to welcome you in Vienna again soon. And to quote Billy Joel, Vienna waits for you.
Okay, so hi, I'm Stephanie Lumnitz. I'm the ESA chair, and I would like to say, dear Sophie, dear Pierre, dear Sergio, dear organizing committee, and dear participants, thank you so much for being part of BiDS' 2023. So to conclude this conference, I'm personally really humbled to see the diversity and hear the diversity of voices over these last 3 days of the event. We had European participants, we had many participants from overseas, we heard new generations, we heard established generations, we heard from politics, from industry, and also from science. I think we're all very spirited by open, respectful, and inclusive discourse here to lead to innovation, foresight, and also impact. And I think, as Sophie pointed out, we all understand that challenges such as climate change are not anymore speckles on the horizon, but they're actually full-grown storms on our doorstep. And I think we have again seen in this BiDS that big data from space can be our beacon in aiding decision and policy making, in aiding impact to solve the challenges that lay ahead. So I think this conference has really reinforced that impact, be it in climate action, be it in breaking down data silos, being in spicing up our platform architecture soups, needs us all. So diversity, I think also on this conference is really our strength, not only through open conversations, I think we can really unlock the full potential of big data from space. So with this, I would also really like to thank specifically Pierre and Sergio and the established part of the organizing committee for really laying this foundation of BiDS, but then being open and excited about what else is to come and what the new generations bring in. And I think that for the voices of the new generation, it's also really time to step up and to show what we can contribute to this discourse. So with this, I kind of also want to say really special thanks to Alina Blume, Riccardo Sonino, Federico Rondoni, and Maiken Ristme, and I would really like them to come on stage, because secretly, these 4 have been the people that have organized this conference. And I don't know if you noticed, but since this year, we also have childcare services, we have a code of conduct, we have all of those small little details, and we're working towards these small little details to try and make this conference as inclusive as possible. So with this, thank you all for contributing to this, and safe travels home. Let's keep our eyes on the stars and on Earth, and our feet very firmly on the path of progress here. So thanks from ESA's side as well.
Okay, no, it's time to thank you all on behalf of the JRC as a co-organizer of this edition, as well as the past edition. As the other intervenants to this session have already said, I can only thank you all here that are still present after these 4 days. So this shows also how much interest you have in the big data from space. Very much thank also all to the co-authors, because you know that it's also a specialty of this conference to have the proceedings already actually available at the time of the conference, so that to ease also sharing on the content of your work. And it means, I think there were about 500 co-authors, so you also all contributed. Many could not attend, of course, but I think they also deserve a big thank in the content that they have fed into this conference, even if they were not physically present. I'd like also to thank a very special thank to the keynote lecturers, because I think that's also a highlight in the conference to have inspiring keynotes. We had also many inspiring talks, but the keynotes, of course, they play a special role. And I'd like also to thank very much all 4 keynotes. And as already mentioned by Stephanie and Sergio, we deserve our Austrian hosts. They really deserve a really big thank, not only for the venue, but also all the support they provided all through the conference, these 4 days. But as you can imagine, also in all the months that led to this conference, there's a huge amount of work behind this. So I'd like to really thank them again, and if you can join me in this. Now, when it comes to the theme of this conference, which is big data from space, from foresight to impact, I hope that you all agree that we have an impact, and we have seen it throughout all the conference, that all the work we do, even when it's very technical, like talking about storage for a data lake, all of this has a purpose at the end, and the purpose is really to make an impact, to make a difference. And I think this was permeating throughout all the conference, including the satellite events, of course. And as JRC, of course, when we talk about impact, it means to generate relevant policy-relevant insights and foresight, so that it can positively impact our societies. And this is going at the European Commission, of course, through legislation at the end, so it becomes very formal, of course, but this is already very much impacting us when it comes into legislation. And there is also a role into ensuring, because legislation is not enough, it needs to be applied, and we need to check whether we are compliant with the goals that we have set in the legislation. So big data from space also in this context plays a role, and we've seen in many of the interventions during the conference that even directives were mentioned. So you see that this dimension of the impact is very much fulfilled by our conference, and it's very important that we bring together really all the actors in this context. As I said, it may be that even in your work that you do not realize that you contribute eventually to these common goals. So I think that was great to see in this conference all these developments. Now, maybe just an anecdote regarding the organization. As you see, as you noticed here, we have been innovative in this edition of the conference. I have the one of the few here, I think, that have been through all the 6 BiDS editions. So I'm a bit like old-fashioned, I would say. You know, we organize the next conference, and basically we replicate what we did for the previous one because it was successful. But this time there were many new elements, and this joins to what Stephanie said with the new generation. And in this case, I think Stephanie deserves a very special thank, because being new in the committee, she brought really new ideas and this innovation. So I would like really Stephanie here to have a big thank for her. And also, of course, for Sergio, but Sergio, like me, you know, we are like the old-fashioned, and because we've been for quite a long time involved in this edition, but of course, also very much big thank to Sergio. Now, as an anecdote, as I was about to say before, you know, in June, we had like the closing of the submissions for the satellite events. For the submission for the short papers, we had an extension of 15 days. So I thought that's the ideal time to have a holiday. So actually, I went on holidays the day after the closing of the satellite event submissions and the extension of the paper submissions. So very early, I was at the airport in Milan, Malpensa Airport, at 5 o'clock in the morning because I had a very early flight. I was just, you know, casually checking my mail. Then I started to see floods of emails because there were actually, what I did a mistake. I closed the paper submission and let open the satellite event submission. So that really messed up all the things. So I ended up actually to finally fix this in a boat in Greece. And I remember I actually wrote to Roberto here also in the program committee from JRC that I was feeling like more in a sinking U-boat than a boat, you know, with fixing all this problem. So, and another short anecdote is, you know, like keynote lectures. Philippe CA, I was really worried until this very Sunday because we had no news for 3 weeks. So I thought, you know, Philippe will, for sure, he will not come because he will be busy with some international meetings in IPCC or whatever. So it's only this Sunday that I had this relief. I got the email of confirmation that he would actually be physically present here for the opening keynote. So with this, I think as my co-chair said, and Sophie as well, wishing you now a good trip safe back. Of course, you will capitalize on this conference. That's what we hope. So that you have been networking with many here or those that have already left. So that's also the important dimension of this conference, is also to have an impact on your work, on your connections, and eventually to also generate new ideas, new projects, so that we really progress in the field. So I'd like now to all my co-chairs and Sophie to stand up, and actually all of you, because you are also the ones that made all this happen, because a conference without participants, it's very much useless. So many thanks again to all of you.